Here we go. Oh, hey, Dr. Kimberly. It says that we're live, and happy Tuesday, which feels like a Monday, which feels like the whole world saved everything from July and August and put it in our inboxes today.
I kind of feel the same way too, Dave.
Whew.
And that's whew.
Summer officially ended yesterday, and now rain comes through, and we won't say the S word anytime soon.
In case you have the power.
I have no power, but I do get blamed for the weather, right? It just happens. It's just beautiful. Weather happens.
It does.
And as they say in the glamping world, there's no such thing as bad weather. There's only bad gear. So in the glamping world, you have to be prepared for all conditions, and life is fine. Hurricane force winds, 20 inches of rain. Didn't they have that down in Louisiana with that? Well, unfortunately, all the rain on the East Coast, the remnants of Hurricane Ida. I don't know if you can have enough gear for 12 inches of rain. I'm just saying.
I don't think so. I don't know. Just told everybody good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because we didn't have much green room conversation due to my coming in at the last second, which I know is really surprising.
They're just like, really?
Really? Did you invite our guest today, or I supposed to?
Well, I think that you were supposed to. You sent a note on Friday and told me who the. Oh, look who! There's our guest. See our guest.
Purple. Purple rain, purple rain. That's the only. I'm terrible at learning lyrics. I don't know what's wrong with my brain. Statistics, but not lyrics, Dr. Kimberly. I'd be terrible in choir unless I can hold the words.
You're funny.
I'm not funny. I'm telling you the truth. The truth sometimes hurts, but the truth shouldn't be funny. Who said that? Maybe Don Rickles.
I don't know. Sometimes we need to laugh about the truth.
Oh, sometimes if we're not laughing, we're crying, right?
Yeah, so I think sometimes we need to laugh. I think we need to laugh sometimes.
Speaking of, I don't want to call it laughter, but holy mackerel, what are the COVID numbers these days? Are people... There goes the purple. My dad was telling me an article about dogs that are being trained that can detect cancer in humans. So is Purple detecting COVID and somebody's at your door who has COVID and he took off? What?
Now that would be interesting if they train dogs to find out if you have COVID or not. That would be interesting.
I am, yeah, but as long as they did it without barking, though, can you give them a little bell to hit? Ding, 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 ding. I'm not a fan of dogs barking. That's just me.
I'm not either.
Yeah. Yeah, but you have a barking dog.
And that's why he gets sent away sometimes.
Sent away.
I think that he has some mental issues because, he gets put in the garage and the floor is kind of cool out there, and maybe he likes it, and he leaves the light gets left on for him. So now when he comes in, his new thing is that he goes and he sits in my shower in the bathroom.
Okay.
That's with that picture.
That sounds wacky. But you know, uh-oh, I've only heard that like being in a tub is a good place to be, like in a hurricane or a tornado or an earthquake.
Yeah, I was in Hurricane Hugo in 1989, and we were in the bathroom.
There you go.
Because in Charleston they don't have basements.
Right.
So you go upstairs and not downstairs. But hurricanes have tornadoes inside of them.
Yes. When they hit land, especially, and they get spinning off.
I don't think that people realize that there are tornadoes inside of hurricanes, and they do the most damage. Are the tornadoes within the hurricane, because the hurricane just kind of brings the water and the winds, but those tornadoes come around. They up in trees. I mean, they live straight up.
I mean, you see the pictures is like those boats are way where they're not supposed to be. Yeah. So it's a wacky world, but I know animals, like when earthquakes are coming, animals can act odd, and maybe Purple is an earthquake sensing dog.
Well, I don't know, because it started thundering and raining a few minutes ago. So maybe he's just responding to that, to the weather.
A weather alert for those in West Michigan. There is a severe thunderstorm watch. Mm-hmm. I don't know if there's a warning yet for us in West Michigan.
Yeah, the skies have already gotten dark.
We are here full service. We got the weather. We could talk sports.
But actually, we're supposed to talk about something really important today.
Oh, I see that down below.
You even have your address and your phone number and everything.
Well, the funny thing about the address is that's what the announcement's about.
What?
Exactly. You can write that address, 3600 Camelot, down for, now I have to do the math, but I think it's in 6 months, we're changing our address. So for those that, hopefully you saw the news or you see a couple billboards here in West Michigan, Special Olympics Michigan bought the former South Christian High School, 127,000 square foot building, 2 gyms, like a practice football field, and then a field the same size as that. And yeah, Special Olympics needs the gyms and the fields and the school offices and everything else in between. They said, hey, do other people want to move in with us? And we are wacky enough to say, sure, let's do it. Now, of course, that was 2 years ago. Actually, 2 years ago, June, we were invited on the glorious pre-pandemic days of 2019. We were invited by Special Olympics to join them. And our board, started the due diligence. We hired, we retained a fundraising consultant who did a feasibility study to see if we could raise how much money. We, talked to some people in construction, how much would it cost for us to finish our suite, all that fun stuff. And a year ago this month, our board approved moving to Special Olympics and raising the needed money. And then we started planning it, and Dr. Kimberly's been part of the secret club called the Campaign Cabinet. She is one of the awesome community leaders that are helping us. I think there were 25, 26 people or more on that. Again, it sounds like a lot, but when you're rowing a big boat, you need a lot of hands on the oars. And so Dr. Kimberly and we had, as I've already alluded to, I failed in my invitation to Cameron Young and Angela Nelson, who are the campaign co-chairs. They are the ones who lead our cabinet meetings. And I can't tell you any numbers because you have to come next week, this very hour next.
But I think that we have a video though. Can you share? Do you have a space on there for you to share screen?
I can, but you mean to share the campaign video?
What do you think?
Oh, we're going to share it next week, Dr. Kimberly. Oh, we're going to share it early and often starting next week. But we need to, people come on out. If you're in West Michigan, come on out next Tuesday at 4 p.m. I can give a few teasers here now that you're going to make me share screen. And I'm going to show this picture because this picture's been updated. How do I share? Okay, share screen. Share screen result is easiest with 2 monitors. All these new things in StreamYard. Cool stuff. Let me see if it works. Oh, there we go. And is it sharing? I still see us.
Let's see. Let's go look at the feed and see what it shows up on the feed.
Folks, we are here at the cutting edge of technology at StreamYard.
Good afternoon, Vertaji. Thank you for tuning in.
All right.
Hey, Nina Cole and Leroy Talbert, Pastor Leroy Talbert. Yes, thank you so much for tuning in. I think if you send it to me, I might be able to share it. Do we have some great pictures?
I shared screen and it shows like next to my picture on the bottom.
Oh, never mind. There we go.
Oh, folks, there it is. And look, we're still there. And and it moves even. So this is the gym or the whole school. And you can see my cursor. Oh, and that's so cool, folks, here on our friends at StreamYard. So like this is like a really cool hallway that's real long because it was a high school. But over like here where you see these words, that's where there's a parking lot. And I call this the main entrance, but it needs to be labeled better. And then over here, between the two gyms, there's a whole nother parking lot. So next Tuesday, 3:45, you want to get there early. You can either park here at the gym or park at the main entrance and wander through. And in the gym, we are going to have the public announcement of our campaign. And you'll appreciate this, I know, Dr. Kimberly, where we do work on accessibility things here at Disability Advocates, and we, help people make sure they're getting the best accessibility, most inclusive design. I mean, Dr. Kimberly's been part of our test pilot group since the beginning, in fact, before the beginning, and all that fun stuff. But I like to say to our, we've contracted with Wolverine Building Group to do the construction. This green area is kind of where we're at, but I'm sharing this picture. This doesn't look like this anymore. It's a little different because this was the drawing of last summer. So anyways, I say to our folks at Wolverine, I might sound like I know a little bit, but this really is my first rodeo, right? I mean, you probably went through it when you built your home, right? They just kept asking you questions like, I'm like, I don't care. Leave me alone. and so just all that fun stuff, and all kinds of details that you don't even imagine goes into a building project until you're like having to be like the owner of it. I don't own it. Disability Advocates does, but they kind of try to say I'm in charge. But then if I zoom in, let's see. Oh, look at that. So like these gyms, this auditorium is going to be awesome with ramps coming up to the auditorium stage. The other partners that are in there, zooming over here, this looks like an art room, but this is going This is already being remodeled for the West Michigan Mental Health Foundation. This yellow color is Down Syndrome Association. As I noted, Special Olympics is already in the offices. Up front here, Autism Support Kent County has already moved in. And then you have to come next week if you want to see like the new pictures. But this greenish area, this shared entry, is a full hallway, and our office is actually here-ish. But a cool thing that they're doing is you can kind of see these, they look like dashed lines, but those are actually the current hallway. And that current hallway, those are weight-bearing walls, so that's why those are going to stay. But they're moving the hallway, and it's going to be along the courtyard. And this courtyard is so cool in the sense of its potential, because right now it's just a couple of trees and grass and some, like, one really broken up sidewalk. And so they're going to fix all that and put in this door, and not today, because as Dr. Kimberly said, it's kind of lightning here. But on a day not like today, like a day like yesterday when it was gorgeous here in West Michigan, you know, we'd be outside enjoying, you know, each other's company. If you have a meeting, let's do it outside. But this hallway is going to be really cool. And then, so us is in this greenish area, and then Thresholds, which provides a bunch of services for adults with developmental disabilities. Their main offices are going to be here. And who else did I mention? The I got to go turn this way. The newest member of the club in this room is going to be Deaf and Hard of Hearing Services. Deaf and Hard of Hearing Services. Thank you for bringing Beth to us and continuing to partner with us with Rolling on the Road. We're going to hang out together in the same building. So they're going to be down here. I think that I mentioned everybody. But then this is what us old timers used to call the library. And then it was called the media center. And now it's going to be the community center. This here is going to be called the collaborative cafe. So for staff, visitors, whomever, you know, will be enjoying lunch or a snack or whatever. And let's say there could be a group, I don't know, 100 Shades of Disability. They could have a community meeting and use this space, you know, and nonprofits, for-profits, this, you know, again, we want the space to be used. I'm imagining, I don't know if this show would ever have a gospel singer on it or a musician. Would we ever do that?
Yes, we do that often.
Oh, we did last Thursday, Chris.
Yeah, we did. Mm-hmm.
Exactly, because then it's back to, you know, this stage. I can see us having a few concerts up there. It's just going to be a ton of fun in this shared collaborative space. And the most important thing is I like to point out to people, our indicator of success, as I keep shrinking out, so that's the footprint of the building. This is going to be an empowerment center, not a disability ghetto. This is not going to be, oh, you're right. You laugh because you know.
But you know, that's true. It's not it's a one-stop shop ghetto for the people with disabilities.
That's the only, you're a person with a disability. You belong at 160 68th Street Southwest. Go there. And it's like, no. I go there to get skills, hone my abilities, and I'm coming back out in the community. That's what this is. This is an empowerment center for people with disabilities to get connected, get fired up, and we're going to keep making West Michigan fully inclusive and accessible for all. That's kind of our vision, for all. So as people lead their self-directed lives, these different organizations helping people set goals, get focused, and this will be an empowerment center. Hey, Linda.
So say good afternoon, Linda.
Good afternoon. And so this is going to be really cool. And of course, a moment of pride, bordering on, hubris, as we like to call it. This will be, well, technically it is because they're using it already. This is the world's largest Special Olympics facility. World's largest here in little old Grand Rapids, Michigan. And it truly is, it's already, a national model for how do people with disabilities, disability organizations, or other, groups of nonprofits. We're connected to an organization that's part of our Absolutely Accessible Kent group. They're based in Chicago, and one of their staff members was up a month or so ago, and she was so excited about this because she's like, there's two, I don't want to say abandoned, that sounds so terrible, but two vacant high schools that she's aware of in Chicago area. And she said they'd be perfect to do exactly this because these gyms, the Special Olympics folks, they could, in all seriousness, they might have practice like in a hallway of a school because, of course, school gymnasiums are prime real estate. It is tough to rent a school gym because there's so many sports teams, the school's doing their own thing. And so, yeah, you can rent the gym from like midnight till 2 a.m. Who wants to do that?
Right.
So now they have prime time because they own it. And again, the adults. And then the other really cool thing about Special Olympics is the model they're transitioning to is, and I should have a better script in front of me, but it's not just people with disabilities against people with disabilities and pick the sport, soccer, basketball, frisbee, ultimate frisbee, all that fun stuff. They have teams that are half people with disabilities, half temporarily able-bodied folks. And so these inclusive teams working together, and the rules are, that, can't be like whatever, the three disabled people watching the two non-disabled people play basketball. It's like, no, right. No. It's how do they share the ball, share scoring opportunities. And they've been having great success with this. Again, on both parts of that. Everybody is having a great time. Everybody's learning from each other. And so back to this being an empowerment center, it's people coming together, having fun, going back out to their other opportunities. Oh, and I should mention, speaking of getting excited, you got to get caffeinated. So right here between the gyms, there was a concession stand. Mm-hmm. And now that's going to be, there's a coffee shop in Ada called Brody B's Cafe.
Yes.
And it's run by a young man with Down syndrome. And he's going to open his second store. And that's where his second store is going to be. Exactly. So if you want to come get a cup of coffee at our...
Cup of coffee?
At our regular coffee pot here in the Collaborative Cafe, hey, it'll be there. But if you want that mocha latte iced whatever drink that the kids are drinking these days, Brody B's will have it. And so Brody B's will be here, again, open to the public, but also the folks in the building. So I'm going to work here. Oh, I almost hit leave studio. It's not what I want. I want to stop screen share.
Oh, here we go.
So that's some teaser. Come next. Did I mention next Tuesday at 4:00? So September 14th, 4 p.m.
And Rolling on the Road will be there live.
Now, you're going to want to watch on Facebook, but I'm just saying you're going to want to be there in person because not only will we be socially distanced, we're in a gym, so there's a lot of space. Special Olympics, they have a mask mandate in their building, so bring your mask and hang out together. But there'll also be some refreshments after the formal program. So some refreshments might be provided by a nonprofit somebody might have heard of. I think it's called 100 Shades of Disability. Ooh, give it up to our partner. You know, because we keep conspiring, but in person. And then also, if you want to take a quick stroll or roll through the building, we'll be offering tours. Because our suite, they actually start demolition the day before, but because it's like the second day of demolition, they won't have like destroyed too much and made it impassable. So next Tuesday will still be a good time to get a good sense of the space before demolition like really starts. And then 6 months from now, 6 months from now, we're going to move in. 7 or 8 months from now, we'll have a ribbon cutting. So you can come through and see the new space. Exactly. Community open house. So if you want to get the full before and after, another teaser, you know, folks in Maryland and California, Georgia, who you like to tune into this, next week we'll make public the campaign website, as Dr. Kimberly already alluded to. There's a really cool video. Yes, really.
And you might see somebody in there that you know.
Might be 2 of the 3 people that you know. And yes, Dr. Kimberly and I bragging up the campaign, telling people why they should be supporting us. No numbers today, numbers next week where we are. Our goal is 2.5 million. Next week, we'll publicly announce where we're at today and how people can help the final push and to get us over the top. But that's next Tuesday, 4 o'clock. But then on that website, not only is that cool video there telling what we're planning to do, there's also, you can take a tour, a 3D tour of our current offices, the one that was on the scroll below, 3600 Camelot. You can see how broken up our offices are. Dr. Kimberly can tell you it's like a maze in here because she comes in and she's not amazed by our maze. It's like, Dave, this place.
Dave just likes it because he gets to push me around and talk behind my back.
Exactly. The advantage of talking behind the back of a person in a wheelchair. It's way underrated, folks. It's awesome. And then, but you can take a tour of our existing location and you can take a tour of the existing conditions at South Christian or Special Olympics Inclusion Campus. And so then, of course, 6 months from now, we'll do the after tour. So people will be able to see how we transformed what really looks like 8 classrooms. It's 8 good old-fashioned cinder block classrooms. And do you remember when they used to have big windows in the 1950s and 60s, and then in the 70s and 80s, they took those big windows and they made them little windows for energy reasons? Well, because now we have great window technology, we're going to take those little windows and make them big windows again. Natural light, all that fun stuff. And then also how we're going to create some small offices, but also some open offices so our teams can kind of work together. Where right now, I mean, our workforce development team starts here with Trina's office. You've heard us talk about, well, Trina was on just a couple of weeks ago talking about veteran stuff. Angela, who's on that team, and John Kuhn, who's been on the show, their offices are like here. And then way on the other side of the office is John Couchy's office.
I'm sorry. I just saw the whole sky just light up.
Uh-oh.
It's getting bad.
So if I lose power, have a great rest of your Tuesday.
I think so. So I'm kind of looking for, usually when this happens, all of a sudden everything cuts out here. So we're going to say thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. You were rolling on the road with Dr. Kimberly and Dave today. We want to say thank you so much to the deaf or hard of hearing for being with us. Yes. And we got a great show the rest of the week. Do we have tea on Thursday?
We're still in negotiations, but we're pretty confident. People have had a lot of questions about employer mandates of masking and vaccines. So we're bringing in some experts.
Yes.
That's the goal for Thursday.
And on tomorrow, we do have a famous gospel singer, but she's trying to figure out how to do something different, when they're not having big gospel concerts anymore. Ooh. So she's going to talk about life coaching and what she's learned during the last, I want to say, 18 months, 17 months of being in this COVID. She's got some really great projects. She even has a new singing project, and how they've collaborated together. But we thank you. This was just a quick little teaser, because on next Tuesday, we have a live show for you. We really want you to be in the place, but if not, you'll definitely get a chance to watch a lot of it here, streaming to you live.
And I have a good hunch that next Thursday, there could be even a recap, because next Thursday will be free to really talk. No teasers. It's the straight truth next Thursday. So Dr. Kimberly, be safe out in this inclement weather. You're going to have some spooky colors out there.
Yes. So usually it's getting kind of bad over here. Things usually kind of shut down since we are a relatively new new division. But we want to say thank you so much for tuning in. This is only a comma. We have a great rest of the week planned for you.
All right.
Enjoy your day. Take care.
We'll see you, Dr. Kimberly. See you, Beth.